Today, let's get into this build. I'm going to be showing you how to create Nemesis Prime, an evil clone of Optimus Prime. This character is another one on my list. He definitely needs to be checked out. So we're going to go slow in trying to recreate this character. So don't rush, just follow along as we try to get this character the way we need him to look. Let's begin. Alright, we're going to start from scratch. We're going to hit our first 4 boxes going across. We're going to start off on the first box. And in the first box, we're going to go with a light purple for the first box. So we're going to take our time and get that in there. There we go. For the next box, we're going to have to go with a dark gray for this next box. Alright, let's move on to our next box. For the third box, we're going to go with a dark red for the third box. Just make sure you get all the right colors in that we need. For the fourth box, we're going to leave it all black for the fourth box. And we're just going to go over the boxes and recheck them again, just to make sure we got all the right colors and we didn't miss out on anything. Alright, let's check this box right here. Alright, let's move down to the skin. On the skin, we're going to go with an all black. We definitely going to need an all black, and you're going to see why I did that later. So let's go on. Let's move down to the eyes. With the eyes, we're going to go with the red for the eyes. Now for these next 2 boxes, you don't really need to use them, but you can follow what I have in there. I don't think we're going to use them though. So let's move on. Alright, let's get into this part. This is my favorite part. This is where the character starts to come to life. But before we do that, let's look at these materials. These are going to be the materials that we're going to need to use on this character. So let's just go over these real quick. Make sure you have these down so we can continue creating. Alright, let's move on. Alright, let's start off with this head style. But before we do that, let's go take a look at the skin real quick. Gotta make sure we get the right skin on this character. We're gonna go with the robot skin for this character real quick. The robot skin is gonna help us with our face and how the character eyes glow. So we're gonna go with that. We're gonna start off with the head. We're gonna go get a decent head style for this character. And I think that's good right there. Let's go with that. Let's move on. Let's come down to the chest. Now we gotta get that chest that gives that look in the front of it with the windows. So let's see if we can find something like that. And on your character, you want to get the look as close as possible. So we're gonna go with something like that. That's gonna help us out right there. So we're gonna put our materials in, black it all out. Let's move on down to the hands. Now we're gonna get a bulky style for the hands because it's gonna give us that look that we need. We're gonna black it all out with the material, and then we're gonna go get a belt. Alright, we're at the halfway mark. We're gonna get this belt. We're gonna get something that looks with a gun on the side. Now this is a Transformer character, so you can play with the styles. And I got the belt with the gun on the side. It looks pretty good. Alright, let's move on. Let's go to the shoulders. We're gonna get a bulky style for the shoulders. We're gonna have to give him something that gives him that big and tall look. So for these shoulders, we're gonna go with that. And that's perfect right there. Let's move on. Alright, we're gonna go down to the legs. Let's get the legs right. Now for the legs, we gotta get some type of metal legs. And that looks pretty good right there. Now we're gonna have to scramble with the colors a little bit just to find the right color for your leg style. And don't be scared to use your materials. Sometimes your materials will help you get better looks. Sometimes you might have to scramble with it just to get it right. But I don't think I'm gonna go with a material on this. I think I'm gonna leave it regular, just keep it plain. I like that look right there, but what I am gonna do, I'm gonna black out the mid. Let's black that out. All right. Let's move on. Now for the feet, you gotta remember this is a robot, so we gotta keep it bulky. You know, those Transformers, they got that bulky look, so let's just keep it bulky for the feet style. Let's find something, and that looks right there. That's a good look right there. I'm gonna go with that. Let's move on. Let's go up to the face. We're gonna get like a mask for the face, like a plated mask face. We're gonna get something that's gonna cover the face. There you go, right there. That looks good right there. That's giving a Transformer look. All right, let's move up. Let's go back up to the back. We need to get that style. We need to get that shoulder cannon. Let's get that up there. All right, that's looking good right now. All right, I'm liking that. That's on point. Let's go with an aura now. We're gonna try to get him an aura that gives him a Decepticon look. We need that evil look. We're trying to still keep it dark. Let's go with like a purple aura. Something a little loud, but nice and settled. All right, that's looking good right there. I'm liking that right there. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. This is pretty much done. This is it. Yeah, that came out right. I'm liking that. Yeah, this is definitely a Transformer right here. Let's get a quick look around. Let's move it around a little bit. All right. Yeah, I'm liking the way this looks. We definitely gonna have to take this guy out for some gameplay. We're gonna move around and show you how it looks with this character in action. So let's move on and let's get into it. All right, we're back. We got our character done. He's looking on point. The Nemesis Prime. Yeah, this is official right now. I'm liking the way this looks. Let's get some different views on it. Let's get some different angles. But before we do that, let's try to put something on him that's going to give him a little bit more extra. Let's go to the accessories. Let's try to get him something a little extra. Okay, yeah, that looks right. Yeah, that looks right. All right, we're going to have to move around. Show you a little bit of the gameplay. But before we do, we just take a little bit time to look around again and just look at it. All right, let's get into it. All right, let's go over here. Let's kill some of these robots. Let's get them up out of the way. We're using that heat vision. All right, we're coming down here. And this is Optimus, the evil Optimus Prime right here. I'm just killing everything right now. Shooting up everything. I'm lasering everything. Yeah, I'm just running around just shooting whatever. Killing everything. Yeah, this is definitely giving Decepticon energy right here. I'm just messing up everything. So we got the purple on. It's looking crazy. Moving around, hand blasts. Shooting double guns. Machine guns, yeah, flying. Yeah, he's definitely a Transformer. All right, we're moving down. Let's turn around and go over here. And it looks pretty good. I like the way it came out. All right, we're coming over here, killing some more stuff. Flying with the guns is crazy. But let's go over here. Let's get another look. Let's do the final look. Yeah, this is it. Nemesis Prime. This came out better than I thought. And let me know if this is even close to the character. But yeah, this is it. Nemesis Prime. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following. And just keep following for more to come.